the earth, neither the sea nor the tree, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Not heathens, man. It said all the tribes, the 12 tribes, 12,000 out of each tribe makes 144,000.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But there's only 3 tribes.
No, there's 12 tribes. Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from?
Hold on.
In the time of Christ.
He's going to
In the time of Christ, they
Where
only had 3
were the
tribes.
9 other tribes?
They were lost in Assyria.
No.
After the Assyrian captivity,
They
were
came
scattered
to
abroad.
America. They're the so-called Native Americans and Latinos, man. All right? It tells, like I said, if you had the Apocrypha, you wouldn't be ignorant in this part, man.
I have an apocrypha.
But you should get it, because that tells you the journey of the 9 tribes. They came to Assyria. Yeah, you know what? We'll get it. You know, get second Ezra.
I have
And get it back.
13 and 1. Was it 13 and 1? 13 and 40. Second Ezra 13 and 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanazar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they enter into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
Euphrates is in Iraq, which is right here.
Yeah.
This is where Assyria was, right?
Yeah.
So they took counsel. They said, listen, we're going to go into a far country where never mankind dwelt. This whole eastern hemisphere has been dwelt. This is the only land that hasn't been dwelt during that time. When was this? During 722 BC. So this land was not dwelt during that time. Can you agree with that?
I don't know. I'll have to research it.
All right. But you have people dwell all in here, right?
Where?
All eastern. You had no one dwell here, though.
No one was dwelling on this side of the world.
No?
I'll research it.
For the Most High then showed signs. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and beheld, and held still the flood, till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
So hold on. So from here, where would they go for a year and a half? Would they go to Australia? Would it take a year and a half to get to Australia?
I don't just explain what you're saying.
They went through the Persian Gulf. They went through the Euphrates, to the Persian Gulf, all the way around Africa, and they settled to the South, Central, and North America, and the different islands. That's where they went. That's the land of Arsaret. All right. Because you know what? Even Solomon's navy. You ever heard of Solomon's navy? He built a navy, right? And they had 2 ports. They had one in Tarshish, and they had one in the Middle East. And it took 3 years for them to come to the Americas, it says. Because where else would it take for them to get 3 years on boat? On boat, it wouldn't take nowhere here to get 3 years, right? So it said it took a year and a half. Go ahead.
Slakia. Then, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Arsaret. Then dwelt they until Then dwelt they there until the latter time.
Until the latter time. We're in the latter days right now. We're in the last days. Go ahead.
And now, when they shall begin to
Question. Christopher Columbus, when he came over here, what kind of interpreters did he bring to this side of the world? Hebrew interpreters.
And then they say he was going to Asia. They knew the language of the Asians. Why would he bring a Hebrew interpreter if he was going to Asia? He knew where he was going, man. He knew he was going to America.
Because in his memoirs, right, they were talking about how going across the sea, and they're saying that, oh yeah, it's only this far away. And then he was quoting a whole bunch of historians, and then he said, and Ezra. Did you watch that movie? And then they're like, Ezra is a Jew.
Jesus. You gotta watch these movies, man. They're historical pieces, you know? They show you things in these movies.
Well, even books as well. There's the participation of the Portuguese Christopher Columbus and the participation of the Portuguese and the Spanish Jews in discovery. Oh, I have it. I have it.
Okay. Bring it up. Yeah, bring it up.
The last verse that I'll go for you guys to look at is Romans 8:3 and 4. How do you understand Romans 8:3?
Go back. Hold on. Go back to that. Do you understand that there's 12 tribes?
I have to research it.
All right, you can research. I know. You're not going to take your
I
word
have
for
to
it.
research it.
But there's.
I can listen to what you know.
Remember the scripture says.
Well, did we get 7?
It said the
Revelation 7 and 7.
Hold on. It said the days of man are numbered, but the days of Israel are not numbered. Meaning that Israel will never be exterminated. They're not scattered. They're not unknown. There's actually tribes, and they're set together. There's a coordination to them, man. You know, they're all there. There's 3 tribes. That's why the Lord, He said, listen, I have other sheep of this flock, right? In John, was it John 10? He said, I have other sheep that I must tend to. And the Mexicans, by the way, they had an account of the Lord coming. They called him Quetzalcoatl. The word Quetzal means feathered, Coatl means serpent. Because the feathers, remember we were talking about, they represented flight, and the serpent represents power. So they said, look, that's the feathery serpent. And they had, what did they say? They said that he taught them the 10 Commandments. He taught them to love one another, to stop sinning.
That's why they had humans.
But that's why they went off. That's why the Spaniards came. Why do you think the Spaniards came and beat the hell out of them?
We were just reading.
Well, we have the records here, man.
Okay,
We're reading
I have.
that they wanted to go because the reason why that was happening to them was that they were not following the laws. They said, forget this place. We're going to go to somewhere where mankind has never dwelt, and we're going to keep the laws there. So in the beginning, they came, they kept the laws, but then they fell off.
Here's an example. This stone, right? You can't really see it here, but you can type it in. It's called the Las Lunas stone.
Okay.
It's found in New Mexico. The inscriptions are Hebrew, and it's part of the mountain. The scholars, they try to take this rock out, but they can't take it out because it's part of the mountain. It says the Las Lunas stone from New Mexico containing the 10 Commandments. You can type it in Google yourself and research it. All right, and there's many artifacts found in America. Both of them. But you have the book.
Yeah,
There's a-
fell out of my hand. Sorry. Fell out of my hands.
See that?
Okay, yep. Luis de Toros.
What book is that from?
Oh, yeah, okay. This is Christopher Columbus and the participation of the Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese discoveries. All right, this is page 90. Luis de Toros, a Jew who had occupied a position under the governor of Mauricia and who was baptized shortly before Columbus sailed, as he understood Hebrew, Chaldean, and some Arabic. Columbus employed him as an interpreter. Right? Okay, and then words. I have one here. Luis de Toro in 95, page 95. Luis de Toros, the first European who discovered